Fire it up, footballers. James here after that 2-2 tie with that yellow team, Columbus Crew. Caleb Porter coming out right after the match and saying, for what it's worth, I don't care where Chicago's at right now on the table. They've got some really good attacking players. So some praise there from Caleb Porter. Something to fall back on. But Chicago Fire, led by goal scorer Barrich, but tie 2-2. Really, they disappointed. They had a chance to win it right there in the at the end. I'll show you some stuff here in a minute. But real quick, want to say smash that like button, subscribe for more Spitting Fire if you can. It greatly appreciate it. Helps fan the flames, helps spread that word to the other Fire fans. Helps fan the flames. But if you take a look at last episode, we had Tyrus and Men in Red on. Awesome episode. Whole lot revealed. Awesome stuff by Tyrus and Men in Red there, including the crest, the logo, DP targets, stuff with Schweinsteiger, Dax Ponovich, behind the scenes with Wiki, stuff with Seattle and Garber and Nelson Rodriguez, and some awesome podcast there earlier today. But we'll move right into the news. 2-2, Chicago Fire and Columbus tie. Here's the starting lineup: Barrich, Herbers, Aliseda, Mihailovic, Madron, Jimenez, Navarro, Calvo, Pineda, and Sekulic. Bobby Shuttleworth in goal. Mihailovic did get an injury. Here's Patrick McCraney already on the job. Robert Barrich had a goal and assist, but he seemed dejected after the Chicago Fire squandered a 2-goal lead and drew with the Crew. I don't know. We don't have this luck. I don't know what is happening. These last couple of games, we just can't manage to win a game. I got the article here by Patrick McCraney, if they don't mind me reading it. Feels like a loss. Chicago Fire lose lead late, draw with Columbus Crew 2-2. By the way, links will always be in the description for everything I read in here. This is hottimenoldtown.com. Robert Barrich broke out of his goal-scoring drought with a goal and assist, but the Chicago Fire squandered a 2-0 lead late in Soldier Field to Columbus Crew on Saturday afternoon. The game ended in a 2-2 draw. Before the match, Fire draw with the first-place Crew might have felt like 1 point gained. Considering the outcome, where the Fire missed golden chances late that could have wrapped up a win, this one feels like more like 2 points dropped. We're not happy, a dejected Barrich said after the match. We had the lead 2-0. We had the game under control. I was just checking audio there. We had the game under control. Where did I'm sorry, I lost. And yeah, I don't know. We don't have the luck. I don't know what is happening. These last couple of games, we just can't manage to win a game. Things look good for Chicago early in the match. Georgi Mihailovic, who got start over Przemysław Frankowski, opened the scoring, putting away a low cross of Barrich in the 11th minute. It looks something like this. Here's Matt Doyle. Here's Matt Doyle.
Here comes Benic, the ball inside.
Here's some. Boom, Georgi. From Barrich. Boom, first goal. So I got that right. From Chicago Fire. All available on Twitter. Boom, boom, boom. There's Georgi knocking one in. Things look good for them early. Barrich doubled Chicago's lead 3 minutes later, finishing another low cross from the right side in the 18-yard box, this time from Fabian Herbers. Prior to this match, Columbus had only allowed 2 MLS regular season goals all season. The Fire doubled that tally, and all things were looking up. That second goal looked something like this. Courtesy of Chicago Fire. This is at Vamos Fire. What did that look like? Cross, Barrich, both very similar goals between Barrich and Frankowski. I guess that's how they're creating offense. Very similar goals. Just getting the guy to the middle, exploiting that wing, and getting that goal and getting that cross off to the middle to the penalty kick area and slotting it home. Columbus got a goal back in the 68th minute when a Giassi Zardes shot off the corner glanced off Fateh Alash's face and into the back of the Chicago's net. A few minutes later, the Chicago Fire nearly scored when Collier used a scissors move to free himself on the left side of the box, sending an inch-perfect pass to Frankowski, who was standing 3 yards in front of a wide-open net. Rather than shooting it straight in, Frankowski hit it to the left post, where Columbus goalkeeper Eloy Room was waiting. It was one of the couple of big chances that the Fire failed to convert late in the game. It looks something like this. Collier goes to the corner, uses a scissor kick, creates space, gets it in, and the whole right side of the net is wide open. And Collier and Frankowski just can't seem to slot it. It's just this is from Matthew Doyle, by the way, at Matt Doyle 76. courtesy of on Twitter. Oh, man. Darn. So in our situation, you need wins, Fire head coach Rafa Wicki says. When 2 minutes before the end, you're still winning, and you have such big chances missed, it doesn't feel good. That missed opportunity would come back to haunt the Fire. In the 88th minute, a Columbus shot deflected off the back of Zardes' legs, landed at his feet for a 1v1, and Zardes was able to send it past Shuttleworth to tie the match at 2. There's no getting around it, said Shuttleworth, who made 4 saves on the day. We're disappointed, obviously. We're up 2 goals in control of the game, and to give away 2 goals like that, a bit unlucky, but we've got to do better. That was Bobby Shuttleworth. Thank you, Hot Time in Old Town and Patrick Craney for, as I read this. Mihailovic limped off in the 22nd minute with an ankle injury and was replaced by Collier. Wiki said Mihailovic was getting a scan and didn't know yet the full extent of the injury. We still have no confirmations back on that. I've been looking into that. CJ Sapong made his first appearance for the Fire since a 2-0 loss to Vancouver at the MLS's back tournament in July 23rd. Awesome to see him come out. He came out for Barrich in the 79th minute. With the point, the Fire jumped to the 12th place in the MLS Eastern Conference standing, 1 point ahead of Inter Miami. Chicago plays again next Saturday, September 19th, when they head to Florida to face Orlando City. That game will be on WGN and ESPN Plus, unlike this last game here. So 15 shots for the Fire, 6 of them on goal, 19 fouls, 1 offside, 3 corners, and 43% possession versus 56% possession for Columbus. Columbus had 20 shots and 6 of them on net. So similar shots, at least on net totals there, but a lot more possession to Columbus. Brian Sandalo quickly tweeted, now Joe Mansueto was optimistic about the rest of the 2020 season, but on Saturday the Fire didn't back up the Mansueto, surrendering a 2-goal lead and a 2-2 draw with Columbus. This is available from Chicago Sun-Times. I think this has copyright, so I can't read too much of this, or if anything. But when Chairman Joe Mansueto spoke to the Sun-Times on Thursday, blah, 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 blah. That's Brian Sandalo. I have the link in the description. Take a look at it. Support him. Awesome friend of the show. Jerry McCullough, another writer, that Zardes equalizer for the Crew is why you need to finish your chances. Quite a substantial miss for Frankowski just minutes before on the other end that would have wrapped this up for the Fire. It was crucial. It was gut-wrenching, and to see him how he missed was just Alex Campbell with all the quotes after the game. Robert Barrich was the first arrival. Talks about the frustration. We had heard these quotes earlier. Barrett says he's happy about his involvement and that they played perfectly at both ends in the first half, but they weren't at their best to start from the start of the second half, and says they need to be focused on the full 90. On relationship between the attackers, Barrett says it's getting better, but there's still progress to be made, and if he thinks that with time things will continue to improve. Says he thinks that you could see how this work is paying off, but they need to see the finishing touches. Wiki has arrived. Sandolau, Brian asked about Georgie and the performance. Wiki says Georgie is going for a scan, just rolled his ankle. Wiki says this feels like a loss, not only being up 2 goals, but having played so well against one of the top teams in MLS. He says there are positives. There's the execution of the team's plan and the chances created, but it doesn't feel good not to win a game like this. Patrick McCraney asks, how do you turn around a run of bad luck? Wiki says he's not sure that you can believe in luck in football, and that he wouldn't take a draw if offered before the game. Says he's confident the Fire can beat the Crew. As far as turning it all around, he says you can do that. All you can do is continue to work hard, and he continues to believe things will turn for the better. I can't believe this guy doesn't believe in luck. On whether finishing is something you can teach, Wiki says it's about concentration and has many parts than just say the player who ends up with the chance. He says that training can't replicate the pressure situation for a real game. It's not just a button you could press. He says that a positive attitude and self-belief by a given player is really important when it comes to finishing off those chances. Bobby Shuttleworth has now arrived. Brian Sandolau asks about the mood in the dressing room. Shuttleworth says there's no getting around it, and they were a bit unlucky but have to do better, especially at home. So Shuttleworth believes in luck. So everybody else believes in luck except Wiki. Wiki's like, oh, luck does not exist. It's just you gotta work hard, and if the shots go in, they go in. But that's not luck. What? But he says that anyway. Back to Bobby Shuttleworth. He says he thinks that every player would say the same thing, which is a little different what the coach is saying. Patrick Grady asks about the 2 goals. Bobby says he'll have to go back and watch the goal of a corner, points to the deflection of Alash's faith, and nothing you could really do when the ball falls perfectly to Zardes for the second one. But he does absolutely think that there are things he can improve. And on making big saves and having big stretch of games, Bobby Shuttleworth says he feels like this has been a long time coming for him. He feels as if his confidence has never wavered, and he always comes to games ready to play, and that he's going to always do whatever he can help to help the team. I like Bobby right now. He's doing great. So Matt Doyle, gotten some angry DMs, so I'll just add this. I'm not saying that the Fire fans should be happy, but the new front office does seem to have upgraded the talent, and Wiki does seem to have them playing encouraging soccer at times, even if the results aren't great. So we got a whole bunch of comments here. I want to read them. Alex Campbell say, in a vacuum, that definitely looks like this team is in a first year of a rebuild with promising signs for the future. I think the frustration just comes from how similar it feels to years past. But I definitely think Heights is a better plan than those other teams did. Marty saying they play joyfully because they aren't being yelled at constantly and told they're not men. Other than that, the talent has gone down or moved laterally. Danny Santaromita saying upgraded the talent from what? They had Schweinsteiger, Dax, Katai, Gaitan, Nikolic last year. They needed to get younger, and they did, but I don't know what they upgraded. I don't know that they upgraded the talent. Ben saying, hopefully GM and coach. Remains to be seen. Joshua Norgard saying, they don't have the legs to go full 90. The conditioning isn't there. That's on the coaching staff. Stranger Joel Biden saying, new LL, upgrade OL. New LOL, upgrade OL. Joel Biden quite doubting the narrative being sold by Matthew Doyle, and I don't buy it as well either. Trending in the right direction? We don't know. What direction? A third wooden spoon? Says Joshua Nuremberg. Great comment. Exactly. Mauricio Sandogoff. Watching the game, it did feel like the issue was finishing. It almost looks like they're so anxious to score and win that it's getting in the way of just doing it. Once they're not surprised with the chances to score and start winning, the team might actually grow. Callan saying, I loved how much they kept pressing to leave space behind them and then blew the match. Some great comments there. We're getting close to shutting down. Tyler at Tyler Chai Fire. I believe we had him on the podcast. Changes we need to make this offseason. Sell Cronholm for a crisp $5 bill. A crisp $5 bill is actually worth more than Cronholm. Get a new goalie coach. Invest in the defensive line. Find a veteran, more suitable captain than Calvo, and possibly look for trades for Frankowski. Herb, Men in Red asking, what's wrong with the goalie coach? Tyler saying, not saying that we have solid talent for goalies this year, but you can't blame Wiki for team performance and blame the goalie coach on goalie performance. Overall, goalie performance this year has been horrendous. Oh, that's right. Tyler's a goalie. Bobby is holding it down, but he still is let up 6 in 5 games. 6 in 5 games is not horrible, but is he the best of what's there? And then GA saying, yes, trade Frankie. I don't know if he's being sarcastic or maybe he's being true. He's being not facetious. Chicago Fire Soccer Talk, another friend of the podcast. Post-match thoughts for hashtag Shy v Columbus. Chicago versus Columbus. Last 15 minutes sums up this franchise. Always finding a way to disappoint. Bobby Shuttleworth deserves better than this. Deserve better than that. If they just kept trying to play and move the ball, they would have been fine. And wake-up call for Frankowski being third choice today behind Collier. Behind Elliot Collier. Dustin at Thirsty Poet saying, I've been watching the same Chicago Fire match over and over again for the past 10 seasons. Great quote. This feels like, Joshua saying, this feels like 2016 season with better players. Always finding a way to lose a lead late in the game. And Dago saying 2016 was not such a good year. Carlos saying 2020 is going to not be such a good year. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Or just, yeah. Not looking good there. But, and last thing to shout out here, Bryce Sandalo, who talked with Joe Mansueto, had a lengthy chat over a couple days ago. Here's the first bit, focusing more on the business side. We mentioned this with our earlier podcast with Tyrus about potential Crest stuff. They're also, they might be pushing the Crest out next season, but they also might be willing to work with fans, but they also might not. The COVID thing has definitely impacted things, but I highly suggest you check out our podcast with Tyrus to hear more about that. It was an awesome show. That was hashtag number 84 with Tyrus and Men in Red. And we'll see you guys later on for another Spitting Fire. That was awesome. Later, guys.